Hi everyone. So just a quick video over the myth narrative and kind of what the expectations are for this assignment if you choose to do it. Remember, it is optional. If you choose to do this assignment, it is worth 30 points. It is not extra credit, although there is an extra credit opportunity attached to this assignment. So with that, I'm going to explain to you what it is and then how the extra credit kind of falls into place there. So the actual assignment that you're going to be working on is it's called a pourquoi myth. And what that means is it is basically just how things have come to be the way that they are. So why are they the way they are? So we've read a couple of stories in our myth unit, how the leopard got his claws, right? So that is a pourquoi myth. So it tells why he got his claws. Is it true? Well, I don't know, maybe, but it's a myth that was created to explain how a leopard has his claws. So with that, your job is going to be to do the same thing. You are going to pick a natural occurrence. It could be why zebra has stripes, why grass is green, why trees have leaves, whatever it is that you want to do, why flowers bloom in the spring, whatever you want to do. You are going to make up your own myth. What you cannot do is search pourquoi myth and copy one down from the internet and post it as your own. Can't do that. So once you pick what you want to do, you're going to write about it. So this is kind of the steps to what you're going to do. So you're going to pick a natural occurrence or phenomenon that you want to write about. There's a pre-writing sheet that you can use. It's in a PDF and it's also in a Word document. So you can pull down the Word document. You can refer to the PDF, whichever you want to do. Totally up to you. You are going to post your rough draft to the discussion board, and then you are going to give your classmates feedback on their pourquoi myths. What I want to tell you is that posting to the discussion board is kind of an optional thing. It's not mandatory. You don't have to do it. However, if you're choosing to do this, I want you to get the full experience of this whole kind of project, which that includes peer editing and also having someone look at your work and giving you suggestions and ideas and giving you the opportunity to peer edit for students as well. So if you choose to put your assignment on the discussion board, you're going to peer edit for someone and you are going to give constructive criticism and you are going to absolutely be 100% helpful to that person, right? So after you do that, and if someone decides they want to do feedback for you, then you're going to look at that feedback. You're going to take that into consideration. You're going to revise your story, and you are going to submit your final draft. So one of the things I want to make sure that you're very aware of for this is that this assignment is only open until Friday at midnight, because this is kind of a makeup enriched week. Once we hit Shakespeare, I absolutely don't want you working on anything else because Shakespeare is going to be time consuming and there's a lot of content that goes with that. So we're going to be cutting it off at midnight. So that means if you're choosing to revise for a student or if you are posting to the discussion board, you want to do that early. You don't want to wait until Friday to do it because that could be detrimental to you, because if nobody wants to peer edit for you on Friday, then you're kind of stuck, right? So you don't really get any constructive criticism at that point. So definitely make sure that you're doing a rough draft. I'd say as close to Wednesday, latest Thursday as you possibly can. I may open it up through the weekend. I probably will. I'll probably open it through the weekend just so you guys have a little bit more time to work on it. But just make sure you're posting that rough draft early, all right? So with that, what are the expectations of this assignment? So I will tell you that there are several content pages that you are going to need to read. We're talking about steel characterization. That's a type of characterization that helps you to develop characters. The rubric that tells you how you're graded. We'll look at that really quick, but it talks about dialogue and how to do punctuation in dialogue and writing dialogue and developing your characters and character traits and using sensory details and imagery and all that. That's all the stuff that's in this rubric. So that's what I want you to understand, is that you are being graded and assessed on certain things. The way that I'm grading these is if you happen to just do awful and it's like doesn't meet the length requirement, or it just doesn't have enough information in it, I'm actually not going to give you a grade. I'm going to write you a note and say, hey, listen, if I give you a grade on this, it's going to lower your grade. I'm choosing not to do that. If you want to resubmit before the close date, that's fine, but it's just not enough for me to give you credit, right? If you do really well on it, then you're going to get full credit. It's almost like a completion assignment, but I'm not calling it that because there is the possibility for you to possibly get a C or a B on it, depending on the work that you do. The other thing with this is that there is the opportunity for up to 10 points extra credit. So what that means is that if you go above and beyond writing this, and I read this and I'm like, wow, this is really good. Or I can tell you really took some time and tried really hard to do the assignment. I could give you 4 extra credit points. I could give you 5. I could give you 10. But you can earn up to 10 extra credit points. The other way you're earning extra credit points is peer editing. If I see that you're peer editing for someone, I'm going to give you a couple extra points for that, just because that is something that I feel is very important to the writing process. So you will get some extra credit for peer editing. So with that, what is a good grade, or what's going to give you an A on this assignment, right? I need to know what your phenomena or natural occurrence is. Plain and simple. Somewhere in there, it's got to tell me why a zebra has stripes, or why the sky is blue, or whatever you're choosing to write about, right? The setting, I need to see some type of setting, right? So the length requirement for this is going to be 1 full page, double spaced, Times New Roman or Arial font, 12-point font, right? That's the minimum that it can be. So should it be longer? Probably, but that's going to be the minimum that we're going to have for you to be able to get credit for the assignment, all right? So 1 full double spaced page. So with that, you're going to be developing the setting. So that's going to take a little bit of room, right? So you need to talk about sensory detail, right? All those 5 senses, taste, smell, touch, all of those things. Then you're moving down to your characters. You have to have at least 1 main character and develop a character somehow, right? Using this STEEL character development, and that's in the classroom along with the lesson pages. Plot structure, you're developing elements around plot, right? You're engaging your audience in some way. You're drawing your reader in. You're talking about suspense. Dialogue is a big part of this plot structure, and also a big part of developing your character as well. So word choice, imagery, and figurative language. We have talked about figurative language since the beginning of school, right? You are all experts on figurative language. So if you're exaggerating something, that's figurative language. If you use a metaphor, if you compare something, that's figurative language, right? So just use what you know. We've gone over a lot of this already. And then, of course, I need to see that you have proofread and that you're being conscious of grammar, spelling, and all of those things, right? So that's what you need to get an A on this. The other thing I want to make sure that you're aware of here is that when we look at the myth narrative, like I said, these lesson pages are going to be super helpful to you, but the assignment is here. The rubric is here. These are all lesson pages that you absolutely should be looking at before you start writing. You want to make sure to touch base on those. So the rough draft, that's going to go here. So this, again, gives you a pre-writing document. So that's a PDF. This is going to be a Word document. So you're going to use that to help write your rough draft, right? So you're kind of filling that out using an outline. And then once you do that outline, then you're going to compile a rough draft. So an actual kind of written essay, right? That's what you're posting to the discussion board. You're not posting this pre-writing. You're posting an actual written document This pre-writing is only used to help you do that rough draft, okay? So just make sure you're aware of that. So you have some questions here for the discussion board that will help you peer edit for your classmates. Does this mean that you have to use these questions? No, you don't have to. If you're like, want to pick one or two things that you're like, oh, I really want to pick like these two things I think they should work on, like dialogue or maybe setting, and that's all you want to talk about, that's okay. You can talk about those things. Or you can look at these and you can add some of these questions and see if whatever your classmate has written kind of meets whatever is being asked or addressed here, okay? So when you do that, you are going to go in, you're going to post your document, and then people are going to reply to it. Someone else is going to post a document. You're going to reply to their stuff. That is going to be what gives you the little bit more extra credit than just submitting that assignment, okay? So I am going to cover all of this in a Class Connect as well, but I just wanted to make sure for those of you who do not attend that Class Connect or did not watch the recording that we have something from the actual class or an instructional video to help you. This is where you're posting your final draft. So that assignment again is here. The rubric again is here. This is your final assignment. You are going to open up a blank Word document. There's no actual attachment right now. There's no document that you need to open up. You're going to create your myth on a blank Word document, write your myth, and then you're going to upload it to the Dropbox. All right. So again, if you are doing makeup work, you should not be attempting this. If you are completely done and you are looking for more, I expect several of you to be attempting this and peer editing in my class during this week, because you need that little extra push and you need the enrichment, and you need to be writing and making sure that you're growing as a writer and as a student. And so this is the way you're going to do that for this week. The other thing that I want to make sure that you are aware of is that for this assignment, you are going to get to use first person. It's a narrative, right? So you can use first person if you would like to. You don't have to, but if you want to somehow put yourself or put the narrative from the view of your main character, and you want to say I and we and you can do that, right? You can say any first person or second person language, dialect, or dialogue, whatever you want to do, right? You can use first person. So that's going to be a plus for some of you, I know. If you have questions, please let me know. We are going to have 2 working sessions for this week where you are going to be able to just go in and work, and you can ask questions at that time. You can work with a partner, and you can kind of see if, hey, am I on the right track? Do you have any suggestions? Whatever it is. So the last thing I want to clarify, and I want to make sure that we're not doing, if I haven't already, I can't remember if I said this already. You absolutely are to not go online and copy a myth that has already been written. This is something you are creating on your own. This is like a creative writing week. If you go in and you plagiarize, then you will have the consequences of plagiarism, which means you've plagiarized once, so you will not have the option to resubmit anything else if you decide to plagiarize. And 2, I will have to contact your parents, learning coach, or whoever, and we don't want that to happen, right? So make sure that you are using this as time to work on that creative concept. And it's optional. You do not have to do this, right? It is totally an optional assignment. However, I do expect many of you who are excelling in English to do this for me this week. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Have a great week.